This is Unit 3, Lesson 2, and this is Section 2.6, page 151, and we're going to add, subtract, and multiply decimals. And to start with, the beginning of the assignment, part of it is an overlap of what you've already have done. And the thing about adding or subtracting decimals is one thing that you have to watch out for, and what is that when you're setting up a problem. It has to do with lineup.
All the decimals have to line up.
Right, you have to make sure that the decimals line up, no matter how big or how short, before or after the numbers are, the digits are on the number, the decimals have to line up. So if we have a problem such as find the total, of 3.002, 9.13, and 7.0102. Okay, when we say total, that should tell you that we're going to add. That's right. So we know and you normally see total when there's more than 2. And that just means you have to add them all up together. So we'll start with 3.002, and then you have 9.13, and here normally the habit is to line them up to the right, but you have to, with decimals, you have to remember to line them up with the decimal point. And then we have 7.0102. Alright, so you got to make sure that we have that alignment. Okay, so it's in a problem like this, it's really easy to get the 1 under the 2 instead of under the 3. It's easy to make that kind of a mistake. So, you have to be a little bit more careful with a problem like this. Okay, so if you need to, you can always, after the last digit, you can put zeros there if you need to help you line up the numbers. Now we're adding, right? So we don't do anything with these zeros. So that's like saying 0 plus 0 plus 2, right? And then here we have 2. And then 3 plus 1 is 4. And 1 point. And then here we have 9 and 3 is 12. 12 and 7 is going to be 19. Alright? So this particular problem wasn't very difficult, but all it takes is to be out of alignment on one digit, and that's it, it's all over. Alright, the problem's going to come out messed up. Okay, this next problem since we have what is 7.59 less than 10.18. Okay, now when we say less than, we're talking about subtraction, right? But the order in subtraction matters, right? So really, arithmetically, we're talking about what would go first.
The larger number.
Well, it's always going to be, because we're using less than is like from, where the order is reversed, okay? So, in this case, it would be like 7.59 from 10.18. So that you have 10.18 first, and then minus 7.59. Okay, because so far we've been working with whole numbers, and so we haven't been getting negative answers. But later on, you're going to be working with integers, and you may end up with a negative number. So, just be, it's not always going to be, the first number is not always going to be the more positive or the larger number. Okay, so you have to know the wording, and you have to know what order the numbers are going to go in. Okay. All right, so we're going to subtract this. Well, we have 8. We can't subtract 8 minus 9, right? So we have to borrow, right? Borrow from 1, make that a 0, make that 18. And so, this pen got stuck. There we go. So, what we have now is 18, right? Minus 9, and that's going to give us 9. But now we got 0, right? So we have to borrow from the 1, right? So we're going to borrow from that, and that's going to make it 9, 10, right? Because technically what we're doing here is, instead of making this 10 and then borrow from that, we just make it 9, and that way we can do this all in one step. So now we have 10 minus 5 is 5, and then decimal point, and then 9 minus 7 is 2. Okay? Alright. So this is a good example of watching out for less than. And I've seen Math 70 and Math 80 students, they kind of get used to doing it a certain way, and they're not watching the wording